Labour in Manchester have had 50 years to get things right.
My job's about putting Greater Manchester first.
The other parties, for me, are just noise, and the polls are just noise. I have a plan for Greater Manchester.
I want to take our city region back from big money.
Andy Burnham took the job as Manchester Mayor and turned it into one of the biggest political platforms in Britain. Now it has taken him to Downing Street, but the battle to inherit is on.
Does the mayoral election excite you?
Not really, not.
Get up in the morning and go, yes!
No.
We're going to vote for a new mayor today.
It's important that the next mayor can sort of like keep that spark in Manchester alive.
For nearly a decade, Andy Burnham dominated Greater Manchester, winning almost 2/3 of the vote just 2 years ago.
More than 2 million people are eligible to vote. That makes it the biggest by-election in British history, but it is also a test for Andy Burnham's Labour Party.
The question is, did that support belong to the party or to him?
Bev, I'm Nick Martin from Sky News.
Hi, Nick,
nice to see you. How are you?
I'm all right. He's even put his high-vis on.
I know.
Manchester Airport is one of the region's biggest employers.
I think for me it's a real symbol of the economic growth of the city region.
Bev Craig, the Labour candidate. Craig has led Manchester City Council since 2021 and worked closely alongside Burnham. Her pitch, jobs, skills and continuing much of Burnham's work.
Nice to meet you all. And are you all apprentices? Currently, you have been.
Mine in October after 2020.
The thing is that inheriting that legacy brings its own set of problems. How do you stamp your own authority on a job when your predecessor isn't just still watching, he's running the country? Are you asking people to vote for Bev Craig, or do you think, as a lot of people might view it, that you are a sort of continuation of the Burnham project?
So I'm asking people to vote for me as Bev Craig on the basis of what I've achieved so far. So of course I'm standing as my own person, but I've been part of that project because in Greater Manchester we've been a team effort.
Her offer combines with some ambitious promises of her own. Free bus travel for 11 to 18-year-olds and 50,000 new council and affordable homes by 2039.
So how many homes do you think you'll build if you were mayor in your first term?
I've said in my manifesto of those 50,000, I would have a clear plan for at least 10,000 of those. But the reason I suppose...
Well, why didn't you just say in your manifesto, in my first term, I'll build 10,000?
I think that misunderstands the policies that are already in place. I actually would say that 50,000 homes is what Greater Manchester has already committed to.
So the 50,000 becomes realistically 10,000 because we've got to judge you on a term, not 10 years.
If I simply focused on what I would do in 18 months, that's not planning for the future. And I think the mayor has to do both.
But for Labour's plans to get off the ground, it'll cost. And opponents say Greater Manchester is already weighed down by too much debt.
Phil, hi. I'm Nick. Nice to meet you. How are you doing? Are you all right?
Yeah,
Good to see you. What a lovely day.
Hale is one of Greater Manchester's most affluent suburbs, a place of independent shops, cafes and expensive homes. It has a strong Conservative tradition.
We have £1.4 billion worth of debt in Greater Manchester now. We have a bus service that's losing £3 million a month.
Conservative candidate Phil Eckersley is campaigning on tax, debt and what he calls the need to open the books.
What do you think's hiding in the books?
We need to understand what loans have been given to organisations, what funding has been given, what grants has been handed out, what we're spending money on. We have a situation where the only way you can really understand what Greater Manchester is spending money on is by digging into reports. It needs to be way more accessible for our residents.
But on paper, you are not likely to win. So is this a serious campaign to be mayor, or is this an attempt to sort of head off a reform insurgency?
The other parties, for me, are just noise, and the polls are just noise. I have a plan for Greater Manchester.
If the Conservatives believe Greater Manchester is spending too much, the Greens argue it is spending in the wrong places.
Look at this! Amazing!
Cheetham Hill, one of the city's most diverse neighbourhoods. where housing and the cost of living dominate everyday life.
Do you live around here? You live nearby?
Yes, this is only 4 minutes walk away.
Oh, amazing.
For the Greens, Geraldine Coggins is promising to shift investment away from big developers into areas like these.
The main thrust of her campaign is more affordable housing and free transport for younger people, so we'll ask her some questions about how she proposes to pay for that.
I want to take our city region back from big money. You know, we have seen far too much poured into big developers building shiny towers and executive homes in the city centre, whilst normal people are struggling to pay their rent.
Her headline pledge is 20,000 genuinely affordable homes, half newly built, the rest, she says, bought and renovated. What's the costing? How much will that cost?
The whole thing is fully costed. It will come in at £4 billion in total.
Where are you getting the £4 billion
So
from?
we'll be using a variety of things. We'll be using, you know, a public sector borrowing, and we will also be building some homes that we will sell in addition to those at market rates. I think this illustrates why we need a Green Mayor, because the establishment parties we know are working for the big developers and their big donors.
She also wants free bus travel for everyone under 22, paid for partly through a £3 a night charge on visitors staying in Greater Manchester.
So everyone who comes and stays in our city region for a night will pay just an extra £3, which will make no difference at all to them, but it will make a huge difference to our city.
How do you know that £3 will not make a difference to people visiting Manchester?
I think we know that most people who are able to travel to a different city and stay overnight are able to afford an extra £3. But what we know is that
come to Manchester.
It will cost an extra £3.
The Greens hope Burnham's departure has loosened Labour's grip. But the party presenting the most immediate threat is reform. In a Salford social club, the afternoon pints are flowing. Cyanne Astley is pitching herself as the outsider, a businesswoman, not a career politician, offering what she calls a fresh pair of eyes.
I have seen what is happening to the country I love, to the city region I love, to the city I live in, and I don't like some of it. And things have got to change. There's got to be a new mayor and a new start.
Centre here, go to the back. It's a bit of a... Yes, I do.
It's loads of you. Do we need to all...
Astley promises to redirect investment beyond the city centre, fight the use of hotels for asylum seekers and triple the number of stop and searches made by police.
Some people see it as inexperience as a negative, but others see it as a fresh pair of eyes. Is that where you are in this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm, you know, my career, I'm a builder, I'm a fixer, I'm a creative. I'm not a wrecking ball come in to just blow up GMCA.
Do you know how many stop and searches there were in Manchester last year?
Did you see the machete attack in Hume the other day?
Well, let's start with, do you know how many there were last year?
No, I don't.
And you want to triple that. Well, how can you say you want to triple something if you don't know the number in the first place?
I want our police to be out there actively stopping crime.
That if you've got something in your manifesto, like tripling the number of stop and searches, you ought to know how many stop and searches there are, 66,000
we need
last
as
year.
many stop and searches as it will take to get knives and machetes off
And
our
how will
streets.
you pay for that? Voters want to know how policies are costed. I've just picked one. You didn't know the number, you don't know what tripling would be, therefore you don't know how much it would cost. That's vague, isn't it?
No, I don't know what the numbers are on the stop and search, but I know that people and voters for reform want police powers to be increased.
For all the noise of the campaign, many voters still don't know who the candidates are, or even what they stand for.
Do you know any of the candidates who want to be mayor?
No, I don't know any.
And who do you think you're going to vote for?
Oh, I don't know yet.
No big characters standing out? No, like, oh, that's the person for me?
No one's not heard anything, actually.
So I am standing on a platform of building on what has worked in the past, but going further and having the next decade as being the best decade that Greater Manchester has seen.
I will be the mayor for the whole of Greater Manchester, not just the city centre.
So I'm here to rebalance that, to tackle a massive inequality and to be a mayor that works for people and planet, not for big business.
They want me to redress the unfairness They have seen their areas decline for years and years.
This election and its political significance goes way beyond the city limits. It is the first test for Andy Burnham as Prime Minister.
He believes what worked in Manchester can work across the country. But if Labour lose here, his opponents will say he sacrificed the city that made him for the street that crowned him. And if that happens, his big plans for Britain could be thrown into doubt.